Good evening. This is Noreen and at the Ayurveda Cafe, and this is our sixth session of the Ayurveda Cafe. This evening I have Jim Pace. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Noreen. Glad to be here again.
Absolutely. And just briefly introduce the topic that Jim is going to talk about this evening. Jim has been talking about what he's learned with his teacher, Vaidya Mishra, SV Ayurveda, which is the Shaka Vansiya Ayurveda. Vaidya Mishra is obviously from India, but he spent many, many years in the Los Angeles area working with Ayurveda, practicing different products and herbs. Education as well was a big component of what he did. Basically, this evening, we got a really exciting topic. It's the definition and concept of beauty in Ayurveda, in the SV Ayurveda. It's SV Ayurveda's understanding of the inner, outer, and enduring beauty. Wow, I love that. Jim, you got the floor.
Meg, just have a seat here. Yeah, hi. Someone just joined in person.
Oh, we have a guest. That's great. Who's joining us?
In the video.
Yeah. Come over and say hello, and I'll say hello. Who is it?
Hi.
Meg.
This is Noreen's place.
Hi, Meg.
Oh, we've met. Did you go to an ecstatic dance last year? Did you do ecstatic?
Yes. I'm a regular at the Sunday ecstatic dance in Fairfield. Yes. But right now I'm in Connecticut managing long-term care for my dad and my aunt. So, I think I did meet you, definitely. Where you been? You haven't been in town, right?
No, I left last year, but go ahead. I don't want to.
No, that's okay. This is the fun part. Welcome, Meg. I'm glad you're here. And I hope you're enjoying my apartment. I know it's probably a little cool there. The heat's on super low.
Fantastic.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
go ahead.
Jim, we'll take it from the top. Jim, you have the floor on this wonderful topic of inner, outer, and enduring beauty. The definition and concept of beauty according to Ayurveda, and this is from the SV Ayurveda approach.
Okay. Hi, everyone that is watching live and who will be watching later on recording. As Noreen said, we're going to be talking about beauty and beautification tonight. Previously, we've had five meetings, and we talked a lot about some general philosophical concepts, and we talked about some specific aspects of Shaka Vansiya Ayurveda. We learned about the gem we call the soul. We learned about the light of the gem, the sattva. We learned last week, we talked about the heart lotus and the relationship of these different aspects to our mind, to our senses, to our body, and to our emotions. And I believe I touched briefly on marma, which are the subtle energy points to which we can enliven and activate the flow of prana through the nadis, or the vibrational channels, the 72,000 vibrational channels that carry pranic energy to every organ, cell, and system. And I talked about this concept of prabhava, or specific ultimate action of an herb or some other substance. And I talked about the transdermal delivery of herbs, and that we need to use intelligent herbal synergies that have captured and retain and deliver the pranic intelligence of the ingredients that were used to make them, that they're living products. They're not dead. They're not simply, they have vibrational potency. And it's important that we use products of that nature. Now, interestingly, but certainly not surprisingly, all these aspects that I've talked about so far in SV Ayurveda in a general way apply to beauty and to beautification. So you're going to see a little bit of how even all the things I've spoke about, every single thing has an application to beauty and SV Ayurvedic beautification protocols. And they also have relevance and application to how Vaidya Mishra made his herbal skincare products. I believe I did mention, I just moved the screen for no reason. I believe I did mention that Vaidya Mishra had a specialty in Ayurvedic dermatology. He did a big research paper for that early in his career, and he was awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Science of Ayurveda from Vikramshila University in the state of Bihar, India. So, according to Vaidya Mishra's family lineage, what we find is that beauty comes from the inside as much as it does from the outside. Just as in the practice of Ayurveda for disease prevention and for healing, the true practice of beautification encompasses protocols and skincare products and regimens that address 5 dimensions of beauty. And those 5 dimensions of beauty are physical beauty, mental beauty, emotional beauty, sensual beauty, and spiritual beauty. So now I will talk a little bit about each dimension or each level. What is spiritual beauty? Well, spiritual beauty is the light of your soul. We talked about that last week. It's the very source of beauty. And the physical level of beauty is the foundation of beauty. Like a house that's built on a strong foundation, we have to have healthy tissues. So we're talking about physical beauty in terms of having healthy tissues, balanced doshas, releasing the toxic waste products from the body on time, everything to do with physiology, the health of the teeth, the nails, the hair, the skin, all this is physical beauty, and that's the foundation of beauty. But the source of all the levels of beauty is spiritual beauty, the light of the soul. So what is mental beauty? Mental beauty means that our mind and our brain are functioning in an optimal fashion. See, our brain and our mind has 3 primary jobs, functions. One is called D, the learning capacity. The second one is called Driti. Well, Driti means our ability to retain the knowledge, or that retaining capacity, retaining power. We could also call it the retaining power. And the Smriti is the recall power of the brain and mind. So each of these functions, they're called Medha, M-E-D-H-A, Medha functions. They have to be strong, working properly, independently, and also coordinated with each other. So that's mental beauty. And then emotional beauty, that means that a balance of a governing factor of the body, one of the subdoshas of Pitta, we call Sadak Pitta, it's centered in your heart. In this Sadak Pitta is like a fuel that has a flame we call Sadak Agni. And what Sadak does, it governs our emotional heart. It processes everything. It processes whatever comes into us. It has to go to our heart. Even mental things go to our heart to be processed and to be understood. When your Sadak Pitta is working as it should, you're joyous and you're happy. When it's low, then you're sad. When it's too high, then you're too angry. And there's so many details about Sadak Pitta, but basically, emotional beauty means that our Sadak Pitta and our Sadak Agni are in balance, because they govern the emotional heart and they govern our ability to stay emotionally balanced and centered. So that's a little bit briefly about emotional beauty. And then we have something called sensual beauty, which is, to me, is one of the most interesting aspects of beautification. It has 5 different subcomponents. And what are those components? First is rupa, or roop. That is your overall facial expression, like your countenance of your face. And then we have rasa, which is the moisture of the skin. That's also a subcomponent of the sensual beauty. Then we have shabda, which is the voice. How sweet or pleasant is the speech. That's called shabda, the voice. That's also an aspect of sensual beauty, or a component. And then we have sparsha, or sparse, which is touch, or sense of touch, which, and then lastly, but not least, we have gand, or ganda, the natural body aroma. So when you put all these together, the sensual beauty is exemplified by an open, expressive face, sparkling eyes, warm smile. This is all roop. Dewy skin, that's rasa. A sweet, pleasing voice, that is shabda. And a subtle, natural body fragrance, we're not talking about sweat here, we're not talking about that, called gand, and then a soft, refined sense of touch, or sparsh. So that's sensual beauty. And I didn't put this in my notes to talk about, but it's quite interesting that the way there's ways that we enhance all these levels of beauty. And if I have time, I'll try to go into how we can enhance the different levels of beauty. But for the sensual beauty, it's very interesting that the way we enhance that is by increasing the quantity and quality of shukra dhatu. Now, shukra dhatu is translated as to be the reproductive fluid. But reproductive fluid has the gross reproductive fluid, the actual semen or ovum, but there's a finer level of shukra, and that's found all over the body in every cell. And that's what we're talking about here primarily, is enhancing the quality and quantity of that shukra dhatu that's found all over the physiology. Now, if any of you out there have ever gone to for some Ayurvedic spas, there's quite a few in the world today, and there are Ayurvedic spas, and there are regular spas that incorporate some Ayurveda. I think you would have probably found in most of those spas that they are based upon what they do, their products, etc., are typically and sometimes exclusively based upon the skin types, or which are based on doshas, vata, pitta, kapha. For example, you might go and they would tell you, oh, you're a vata type, your skin is dry, we have to use this product for vata. You're a pitta type, you have red, irritated, sensitive skin, etc. And inflammation, we need a ruddy complexion, we need to cool you down with our pitta products. Or you might be oily, clammy, thick skin with a lot of acne and blackheads because of the oil, and say you're a kapha type, we have to take care of your kapha type skin. Well, this is good to a point, how we look at skin types when we want to address beauty. But that addresses just outer beauty. What these people that may be doing it, approaching beautification in that manner, may not know and not practice and apply that, is that there's an interdependent role of the intellect, the mind, and the senses, and the emotions, and the soul in beautification. So by just addressing topically the skin types, you're skipping over all these other levels of beauty in their interdependent relationship with one another. And perhaps we'll get back to that point. But now, so what exactly is beauty? We said we were going to define beauty tonight. You see, Ayurveda actually has a definition for everything. It has a definition for what makes yogurt, what is ghee, what is anything. There's a definition. It's not up for grabs. It's not up for interpretation. It's not up for somebody's mental, their personal viewpoint. This is ancient knowledge, timeless knowledge. I mentioned that early on, that it's completely full of knowledge, and it has knowledge of everything under the sun since creation started. So there is a definition of beauty in Ayurveda. The simple definition of beauty is one word is called sundar, which means who is beautiful inside. Sundar, who is beautiful inside. And then we take that a little bit further, and another couple of words in Sanskrit terms is called Shubhang Karanam, which basically means, and it's a very deep explanation, but it means auspicious transformation of all body parts. That all the transformations that make up the body and the mind and the senses, everything that makes us up, there's an auspicious transformation to create the best body parts. So there's auspiciousness in the transformation of all body parts. So the simple definition is Sundar, who is beautiful inside. And now we'll go deeper and elaborate on that, because actually we have, I mentioned 5 dimensions of beauty: the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the sensual. But we in SVA recognize that we have 3 pillars of beauty, just as
Jen?
we have. Yeah.
Could I ask you, this is Noreen, could I ask you to adjust your screen, please? Because I'm only seeing, that's great.
Okay, good.
Much better, thank you.
Okay, it's just, I probably pushed it back so I could read my notes easier. So the 3 pillars of beauty. And so we have a sutra.
I was
There
only
is
seeing you from the chin up, so I
Yeah,
was only
okay.
seeing you chin up, but now you're good.
I'm good. Okay, great. So there is a sutra, and this sutra says, Rupam Gunam Vyastag Iti Shubhanga Karanam. Again, I'll repeat that. Rupam Gunam Vyastag Iti Shubhanga Karanam. What does this translate to mean in simple terms in English? It basically means that outer, Rupam, inner beauty, Gunam, and lasting beauty, called Vyastag, are the result of making all body parts auspicious. So again, we have outer beauty, Rupam, inner beauty, Gunam, and lasting beauty. So let me elaborate on each of the 3. So Rupam is the beauty that meets our eyes, basically. And outer beauty is the outcome and reflection of good health, which again is characterized by sparkling eyes, shiny, healthy hair, radiant skin, the health and appearance of your teeth and nails, and so forth. This is the Rupam, the beauty that meets the eye. And Rupam has another aspect, because it's something we can see, but it's not something we can touch exactly. And that is the outer glow, which comes from the light of our soul. I'll go more into that in a moment. The second pillar is called Gunam, and this translates as inner beauty. So inner beauty is a hard thing to put your fingers on too, of course. It's not tangible, but it refers to certain qualities of the mind and the heart, such as self-confidence, joy, and being contented, and wisdom, and being fulfilled, and being sincere in our thought, and having a lively mind. There's so many basically positive mindset, but not artificial mindset, but positive, and healthy emotional expressions, and being contented and happy, and all these things that relate to our inner beauty. Because if someone is not happy inside, they, let's put it this way, being happy inside can go a long way to making you happy, look good on the outside too, right? We know that. We know when we don't feel well, we're in a bad mood, we don't look our best, right? I mean, I think that's pretty common. When we feel blissful and happy, we look better, even outwardly. Our face is more relaxed, our eyes are more open and expressive, and our voice is more calmer and more relaxed, and more connected to our soul, all these things. So the inner quality, Gunam, is very important. So inner beauty is more, again, all these qualities of the inner beauty of the mind and heart are not something that we can contrive. We can, you can always put on a good face, but you can't fake that connection to your soul. You can try to by putting on a good front, but the real inner beauty it comes from, and it radiates outwardly, that where others can even see that, when our mind is 100% connected to and radiating the light of our soul. The light of the soul, more detail later, is the ultimate source of inner beauty. More light flows from the soul to the mind, and the more wisdom your mind will have, and the better the mind can govern the senses. So without making any effort, we feel confident, we feel blissful, we feel contented. And that is, there was a true secret of beauty or fountain of youth, that is it. That inner beauty coming from our mind's connection to the light of our soul, that our heart is open. Our heart lotus is open. We went into that last week. We talked a lot about the heart lotus being open so that the light of the soul can radiate into the aura. And the third of those pillars of beauty is called Vyastag, which we translate as, Noreen put it as enduring beauty. I call it lasting beauty, same thing, which means looking and feeling younger than our chronological age. So where do we get this lasting beauty? Well, for the most part, this beauty is supported and is the natural outcome of inner and outer beauty. And as so long as we take good care of our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, these intangible qualities of inner beauty, they don't age. That's why we have the lasting beauty. As long as we take care of the other aspects of beauty, then we'll have lasting beauty. But our skin, our skin still needs help outwardly. And to do that, to help our skin look better outwardly, younger than our chronological age, Ayurveda has a lot of tools, a lot of approaches, which include a good diet, a good routine, a daily routine, night routine, and seasonal routine, and exercise, proper exercise for the individual, not too much, not too little. And also to help our skin look younger than our chronological age, are topical herbal preparations. And some of these preparations we call Sri Kamya Rasayanas. I mentioned Rasayana means that which slows or reverses slows the aging process and getting disease, getting sick. So just as there are Rasayanas for health, there are Rasayanas for beauty, to slow the aging of the skin, to keep our skin looking younger longer. And they promote the luster and beauty of the skin. Vaidya Mishra, over many, many years, he made an entire line of skincare products, which he calls Lalita's skincare line. These include facial cleansers, facial detoxification clays, skin toners, and about, I think, 12 or 14 different facial creams and oils. And all of them, each and every one, were designed to slow down or reverse 3 kinds of aging, not just chronological aging. That's one kind, but there's 4 kinds of aging in Ayurveda. One is chronological aging, which is a natural outcome of time. Another one is called biological aging, which is, you see people who lived a hard life basically, and they're 30, 35 years old and they look old already. That's biological aging due to toxins, due to imbalances, due to stress, EMF, bad food, bad water, toxins. So many factors are causing biological aging. Even too much sun exposure is causing biological aging to the skin. So chronological aging, natural. Over time, biological aging accelerates that chronological aging, right? And then we have psychological aging, which is based upon how young we are inside, how young we feel. In fact, Ayurveda suggests to slow down the psychological aging is to keep company with younger people. And if you're in a senior year or whatever you want to call it, then don't sit around and talk about how bad you feel and how old you feel. Talk about something, because the reason is that accelerates psychological aging. You know, think young, think youthful, be youthful. Don't get into this mindset of that I'm old and I can't do anything, and you're gonna accelerate your aging process. That's called psychological aging. And then the third one is called sociological aging. No, so sociological aging is actually, I kind of got the two blended together in a way I didn't mean to have them. But psychological aging is aging due to your mindset and stress and all these things, mental stress. But sociological aging has a lot to do with the company you keep and, you know, how you interact with people of different ages. That's sociological aging. But Vaidya Mishra's skincare products were designed to be a Sri Kamya Rasayana, to slow down and reverse chronological aging, biological aging, and psychological aging too. They actually help our mind and our heart to work better, these skin creams, through topical absorption of the intelligence of the certain herbal ingredients. So now I'm going to switch to an interesting concept. There's called, in two words here, one is called prabha, and the other one is called chaya. Because you see, Ayurveda, at least SV Ayurveda, recognizes two types of outer beauty, two types of rupam. One is called prabha, and one is called chaya. The word chaya means shadow. So chaya, it refers to close-up beauty, what you see close up with your eyes. How do we enhance close-up beauty or chaya? Well, the shadow, that can be enhanced by plastic surgery, things like dermabrasion or lipstick or eyeliners or cosmetics, all kind of outside measures is how we can address chaya. So beautification can be done very superficially. That's called chaya. Again, makeup, skin, you know, all those sort of things, cosmetics, concealers, blush, et cetera, et cetera. So, and now what is prabha? This is what we want to focus on, this prabha. So when you stay up late night, all night after night, you're watching TV, eating some TV dinner, you know, in the microwave, and you wake up in the morning, you have dark circles under your eyes in the morning, you apply some makeup to make yourself look more presentable. You're not glowing naturally. You don't have that glow from the inside, but thanks to makeup, I like what Vaidya Mishra says, thanks to makeup, you look made up. So that's, again, that is the chaya. That is the superficial beauty. But prabha is the very essence of outer beauty. And prabha is that specific radiance and natural vibration which emanates from your consciousness. Rather than covering blemishes or doing something to your face with surgery or facelift or whatever, the prabha has its source from within, which is the light of the soul. But it is the light, but it's the glow of the light. See, prabha is, there's the soul is the source of the light. There's the light, but that outer glow is called prabha. It means the specific ba. Ba means the ah is more outward. That ah vibration is more to the outside. And that reflects as a glow of your aura around your entire body, but especially around the head, especially around the face, do we have that glow. So when a person this person has a bright light, and we talked about that last week, and the heart lotus is open, we can see that prabha shining outwardly even from a distance. Chaya, you see close up. You see someone from 100 feet away. We've seen this. We've all seen this. You see someone from a distance, and you see that beauty even from a distance if they have that bright light. And the texts say that beautiful bright light, when it's clean and pure, there's no darkness in it, is like the morning rising sun. it's reddish, but it's soft, right? It's like the morning rising sun. That is a healthy prabha, which we all have in different degrees and different measures. So again, chaya is close-up beautification. It's like the shadow. We need to cover it to make ourselves look brighter artificially. And then the natural beauty that comes outward in our aura is the prabha. So let's talk about how do we enhance these things. Oh, how do we SVA has a lot of different beautification protocols. So as I mentioned, we have Dr. Mishra's Lalita skincare line. And he also has a technique or a procedure, we call it, of how to use his products, his facial care, skincare products, and other products, how to use these products in a specific way, specific technique. And I call this, I named it Blissful Beauty Marma Facelift. That's what I had, that was the name I gave to it. And he liked that name. So basically, there are two versions to the Blissful Beauty Marma Facelift. One is done professionally at a spa. And the other you can do for yourself at home, and I call that self-facial marma. They're basically the same technique with some slight variation, but one takes about 45 minutes to an hour at a spa. And the other one you can do for yourself, the self-marma facial, can be done in about 15 minutes. Many of the things we do are the same, but not 100% the same. But the results are great for both. Professional, the best, of course, but even giving yourself your own mini facelift with his technique can work wonders for you. I don't have time to teach that technique, so I'm not going to go into that. But I would like to say, if anyone is watching who lives in Fairfield, I now offer this beautification protocol at Revelations Cafe. By appointment. You have to make an appointment either at Revelations or contact me directly. But I would like to talk about briefly how this beautification system works and some of the benefits. And again, I've talked about all this already for health, but we also do the same thing for beauty. We open the nadis, the vibrational channels of the mind, connect the mind and the heart. Yeah.
Jim, sorry again, but I'm losing your face there. Better now. Thanks.
So
you're good.
In the technique, we open these vibrational channels so that more pranic energy goes to the mind. We connect the mind and heart with each other and with the light of the soul, the source of your beauty. This facelift system creates more mental and emotional energy and coordinates them, the mental and emotional energy, with your spiritual energy. We treat 12 facial marma points. These are the energy points that activate more pranic flow to your entire face, including your eyes, your neck, your senses, your auditory system, your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, everything, basically. Also, the facial marma helps to neutralize the vibrational toxins from the EMFs, from the computers and the cell phones and so forth. Because Vaidya Mishra has said these vibrate, we cover our bodies are covered with clothes, but our face is not most of the time. So the vibrational toxins that we get exposed to age us. They age us very quickly, actually, and the face takes most of that burden of the EMF. And through this beauty system, we also deliver detoxifying and nutritive herbs, flower essences, essential oils, and other ingredients to the skin to help defy and reverse biological, psychological, and chronological aging. So that's, in a nutshell, how that works. Open the heart lotus, let more light come to the mind, and the mind then helps radiate the glow of the soul to the aura, so that prabha becomes brighter, person looks brighter. I'll give a little, I've done a lot of these facials, and I remember when I first started doing it, how amazed I was to see the transformations. I gave, and I had some great testimonials that show how powerful it is. I remember one lady, I told her how, I was amazed at how transformed she was in 45 minutes. And I told her that. She said, well, I'm my own worst critic. I'm going to go look in the mirror and I'll be the judge of that. So she gets off the table. She walks to the restroom in the yoga studio where I was working, and she comes back and said, I have to agree with you. And then another lady told me, she wrote her testimonial, which we used in one of Vaidya Mishra's books. She said, I went home. I felt great. I went home. My mother said, well, she said, my teenage daughter said, Mom, did you get Botox? So it really works, whether you do it for yourself or whether someone does it for you. So what are the benefits of the facial system? It balances, it nurtures, it detoxifies and slows aging of the skin. It lifts and tones the face. It relieves mental stress. It helps us focus and be more centered and brings more peace to our nervous system. It helps to release accumulated emotional grief and sadness. It enhances the pranic flow to your eyes to make them look wider, brighter, and more relaxed and more radiant. And here's a benefit that you may not have you might not even think about, but this facial system helps to release sound pollution and other negative vibrations from the auditory system, from our hearing, from our ears, from the nadis that control our hearing. So it helps all these different aspects. It's called Blissful Beauty Natural Facelift, and again, I've given over 100, maybe 150 or more, and there's only been 2 or 3 cases where I wasn't satisfied with the results that I saw. So how much time do we have left, Aaron?
Jim, I think this is a good point to open it up for questions. And I guess I do have some questions.
Okay.
And do you have more material that you'd like to deliver on this topic next week?
I just want to finish with one paragraph.
Well, we won't do that.
Take 30
Okay,
seconds.
go ahead.
Let me see if it's even. No, go ahead. I can skip it. It's all right.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, my question was, do you have additional materials that you want to present on the Ayurvedic concept of beauty next week, or is
there's what I was about to say. Roger Mishra asked me to write a book on this, and I wrote over a 200-page. This sounds very little, but I wrote a 200-page book on all this. So that's just
beautiful.
This is just a little bit, and this book.
Oh, that's beautiful. I would.
Well, I have the manuscript.
Well, I would love to. I think a great Ayurveda cafe. This is number 6, but a great Ayurveda cafe, and continuing this topic would be for me to look at it. If you're comfortable with that, sign, some sort of confidentiality agreement or something. And then when I read it, that's going to prompt me to ask you particular questions. So I'd love to do that if you're open to it. That'd be fun. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that off recording. I want to open it up for questions. I do have some questions, and I know we have a live guest here tonight. Meg?
Yeah.
Are you? Meg, come and join us.
Oh, Enrique's over here.
Oh, we got Enrique. Well, pull up your chair. Come on, get on the video.
Come on, Enrique. Come on over. Come on, he snuck in at some point.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, do you guys have either of you have any questions?
Enrique, hello. You got a ride, huh?
I did.
Oh, good. Enrique, do you have any questions for Jim? Because we'd love to hear them. And anything that pops in your mind whatsoever will be helpful to our audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I come in for a facial?
Same.
Well, I would love to for Jim to do a demo for us too. I think that would be another one. We got 2 more topics on beauty, Jim. Enrique, anything that comes to mind regarding the facial marma massage, or anything else about
anything?
All these amazing concepts of Ayurveda with the inner, outer, and I like to say enduring. Jim says lasting beauty, but yeah. Any surprises for you?
I was surprised to hear about the sociological. This is why I love Ayurveda, because the more I go into Ayurveda, the more I understand just how much is covered. And particularly when Jim speaks about Ayurveda, when he was telling the story about Vaidya Mishra and feeling pulses in London and feeling the electricity and feeling the
Oh
EMS.
yeah,
That-
that was way back when the start
Yeah,
of the
that was-
EMS.
That was,
Right, and the connection there with lightning strikes, right?
Right.
And
Oh,
how
sure. How can you can relate it to something that's in a totally different environment without
yeah.
you know this but there's a relationship there to the natural world. Yeah.
And what
Yeah,
does EMF do to the skin? It makes it look dry, thinner, and age faster. So we have to address EMFs in our facial beautification. We have to address
Yeah.
these.
and then
Absolutely. No, but that's a very good point. I would not anticipate, excuse me for that phone that's ringing in the other room. I would not anticipate that there was going to be a sociological impact. So yeah, I mean, that was a surprise to me as well. You know, that, and what other point were you thinking about, Enrique?
Right, was the sociological impact. I was deciding at Annapurna today, school, which group of people should I sit with? Should I sit with those who are like older and have been practicing the cities and this and that, or should I go sit with younger students who like to talk about, what young students talk about?
No, you go sit with the older guys.
Yeah, I sat with the younger students, and it was just a real relief just to see the playfulness there. And I've liked
Sure.
working with children in the past, and that's a really beautiful point, is the importance of being young-minded. Right?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be fun to sit with the older group, chronologically older, but that there's actually a playfulness as well? Because many people as they age, not only are they physically there's lots of changes that happen that you don't, the glow is not there, but a lot of it comes from the inner, that in the challenges of life and the stresses of life it's like everything, the face reveals everything. So but to actually be in the presence of somebody who chronologically is in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, and there's that playfulness, there's that sense of joy, youthfulness, curiosity and excitement about life, that's really beauty. That's beauty. And that is the aura. You can see that.
Yeah.
And I think that relates to the heart lotus too, that the heart of the soul, when it's open. And I love what you shared, Jim, about a person with that kind of light. You can see that from far away. You can sense that from far away.
Sense it, you feel it, you see it.
Yeah. That's
And,
really beautiful.
It doesn't require any makeup. It's just a natural glow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. How about you, Meg? Do you have any questions for Jim?
Well, I haven't been on these calls, so maybe this was covered, but the female issues,
Yeah.
late 40s, early 50s, there's situations that go on for us that don't go on for men. I mean, I just noticed across the board, it's a little easier for, men's hormones kind of, gradually like this, and we kind of go like this sometimes. But do you have any, are your studies particular to that as well, to kind of perimenopausal and that kind of?
I'm not an expert in that. But Dr. Mishra was, and he had a whole 9 DVD course called Women's Health.
Right.
And he said, he calls them the road bumps, the transition of the road bumps, and he said, if you're prepared for those bumps by following the routine and diet, you'll every stage of a woman's life, there's a young stage, and he relates those to different Devis. He said Kali's the young stage, and Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, is the older age, and I forgot who's. But there's stages which, your diet, your lifestyle, and the herbs you take, there are ways to make it, he said in India, a lot of women, they didn't have any problem like that.
Right.
You know,
Well,
they-
I think Meg, you make a great point about it's women's hormones, women's health, and it's the same thing with male hormones. Although, you're right. There's a sudden shift at menopause. Men have something called andropause. It's more gradual. And just the impact of hormones really on our beauty, yes, definitely on our physical beauty, but also on our feeling of inner beauty that, when things
Yeah.
are fluctuating and, when you're entering into the Vata stage of life, you're coming into that period of more dryness. And that's why Ayurveda loves oil,
Right.
and is really balancing with the unctuous quality. But I think that, that's not something to be kind of poo-pooed. There's a wonderful book, Dr. Claudia Welsh, who is a doctor of both Chinese medicine and an Ayurvedic practitioner. But I think her book is called Women's Hormones, Women's Health.
Yeah, I know Claudia.
Yeah, so that's really a wonderful book to take a look at.
But aside from all those, what you do throughout your whole life is going to impact you when you reach that stage. Keeping your vibrational channels clean and clear, getting the pranic delivery. So it's not something you wait until that day and start trying that dress. You make sure all those other things. That's the ideal way, is to make sure that the vibrational pranic delivery is going smoothly and as it should. Then the transitions, as Vaidya says, will go in a very smooth fashion. He said a lot of times, not a lack of the hormones, the interaction of the natural hormones where they need to be at the right time isn't happening. The delivery is not there, and the interaction, of course, is not there. But they are there. He says that's why hormone replacement doesn't work that well, because the material is there, the bioidentical hormones, but the intelligence, where to go, when to go, how much to go, all that, how to interact with the organs and system, that's not in the material, right?
Okay. Okay, Jim, let's translate now into Western culture. And let's, everyone wants to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, they want to have the aura, but there's so much emphasis placed on looks. So practical advice. Ayurveda ultimately is a practical science.
Oh, this is a very practical thing. I've talked about everything about, we do the marmas on your face. These marmas on your face are going to control everything.
No. Let's move away. That's wonderful. Somebody can do a beauty treatment. They can, the marmas. I do understand that, and doing it, the self marma, but other things in someone's daily life that will enhance their aura, will enhance their inner beauty, and that translates to outer beauty.
Other things?
Yeah.
Everything you do to take care of your health. There's the physical beauty. Physical beauty depends upon your diet, your lifestyle, your sleep. Sleep, you got to have some proper sleep. Otherwise, you're not going to wake up looking well. Proper sleep's very important. Maybe when you're in your 20, you can do almost any darn thing, and you still look great the next day.
Yeah, you do. It's true. What? Go ahead, Enrique. Do you want to contest that point?
It's personal. It's personal topical, and so it's acne scars.
Yeah.
I have acne temples all over, and it's really aged my skin because I didn't know how to take care of my skin when I was younger. And so sometimes I see older folks and they have amazing skin, and I'm like, could I ever get back to that point? Because I've seen on websites like before and after pictures of people with acne scars and things like that.
Always beware of those things, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's a very practical question, Jim. What can he do?
Well, I'd have to be it's a specific question for a specific person. We have to have specific treatment for that Enrique can do. So I would use some of the facial cleansers like turmeric soap. We have we have two acne products. One is a cream and one is a drop.
I will buy them tonight, Jim. You tell
Tonight.
me.
Symbols from a tree, specific for, they're called pindica. Acne is called pindica. And it's
Okay.
specific, But the scars themselves, because the acne is not the issue, it's the damage that was done earlier. I'd have to look more into that.
Right.
What we have, what I would recommend.
Mm.
But we have specific products. Vaidya made specific products for acne.
Understood.
But for the scar aspect, years later, I'd have to research that.
If I may add my piece, in my essential oils course, we were going over how rosehip oil penetrates deeply into the dermis, along with tamanu oil. They both penetrate deeply, and then helichrysum is a great essential oil to have in there to help with the healing and the regeneration. So I've played a little bit with that, and I've seen some pretty nice results.
Yeah, I know those aren't things.
Have you, Enrique, experimented on yourself, or is this with other people, or with those particular oils? Okay.
On myself.
And have you created a blend, or are you using those oils individually?
Yes, blending rosehip and using rosehip as like a facial moisturizer at
I
night.
can see your skin. What I would, we have a couple of cleansers, and I would suggest Lolita's facial cream play.
And
How do you spell the Lolita, Jim? How do you spell that?
Spell the word Lolita. She's the goddess of beauty. Is Lalita, Lolita.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was it.
Most beautiful of the three worlds.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And Enrique, you had another comment or follow up too? He was talking about, you were talking about the essential oils.
Yes, I've seen two clays on the website. What's the difference between those two? Oh, there's one with probiotics.
Yeah, there's one with probiotic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that you need the probiotic one per se, unless you're going to use the probiotic facial cream, which comes refrigerated,
Nice.
in the fridge, because it has living bacteria in there.
Very cool.
And you use it within 30 days and you throw it away. You have to use it up.
Okay.
But the cream clay might. My skin, I don't need cream clay. My skin's too thin. It's not very oily. I use an oilier type of cleanser, a regular cleanser. But for you, the cream clay, living on 2 or 3 times a week for 5 minutes. Don't dry out. You probably won't dry out your skin. I think you've got plenty of oil there.
Okay.
It will go deeper cleansing. It's a deeper cleansing. The cream, Lolita's facial cream clay. It comes in a tube. It looks brown. It's thick, and you make it, like a mask. And you wash it off.
Okay, cool. And then how about with scheduling at Revs? Do we call you? Do you have a website?
You got my number and my text and everything.
Do you want to, Jim, do you want to have, give people your email if they want to make an appointment?
Yes, sure. It's, or for the people here, they have my number, but I'll give my email.
No, of course. Yeah, for the video.
Yeah, sure. It is CSJP22, the number 22, as a number, at AOL.com. So that's CSJP22 at AOL.
Great, awesome. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Meg, Enrique?
We're good. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, it's, I would like to conclude by saying, again, I explained some of this knowledge in about 200 pages. So it's deeper. It's even more than, I tried to give everyone the essence of beauty tonight. What is the essence? But there's a lot more to be said about this, of course.
Well, I think essence is a wonderful word to describe beauty, and really, it is simple and natural, and that is really to me, that's the most beautiful, is simple, natural. So. Yeah,
and we have to take care of our skin. I say a lot of women always want to take care of their skin, but men, I don't know, they don't. Most men, they don't think about these skin creams and all these sort of things. I've been using these creams for 10 years, more than 10 years. And Vaidya Mishra, when he only had one cream when I met him. Well, 3 years after I met him, he made his first facial cream. Now he has 14. But he made the one cream, and it was great. I just loved it. It made me feel good. I look better, and happier. It just did so many things for me. And then for 1 year, he didn't make it because he couldn't get his jasmine. He needed Sambat jasmine, a very special kind of jasmine. I think he was getting it from France. And he said, I cannot get it no matter how much I pay. It's just not available. And I'm not going to make the cream without it. A year later, I called the office like every month. Is the facial cream ready yet? No. Finally, he said,
Well, that's wonderful. What I wanted to say, I wanted to pick up on a couple of things. Well, first of all, Maharishi International University has a master's program in Ayurveda and aromatherapy. So obviously, I think beauty is emphasized in that program. So that's something people should look into if they're interested in going that route. And then I think that that's kind of a blanket statement that men aren't too interested in their skin. Maybe it's a generational thing. Enrique, do you want to comment on that one?
I think it just depends.
How about the younger generation? Is there more of a just willingness to say, I'm gonna have these self-care rituals that are intended to enhance physical appearance?
Yeah, I think if we look at demographics, the younger generation is coming more into it. Certainly, I think like South Korea is one of the leaders in skincare, so they're pretty good on it. But for Americans, I see us doing better and putting more attention on it.
Okay, all right, good.
Someone like them to show us, teach us.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, it is a comparison relatively to women and to men. Most men are not, they don't.
No, yeah, I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but I think that most likely is shifting as well. So awesome. Well, wonderful. Jim, thanks so much.
Can I add one final thing? If anyone would like to actually, again, I'm not teaching how to do the facials, but we on SVA Teachable website, Teachable is a platform for courses. And we have a website, SVA Teachable or SV Ayurveda Teachable.
If you Google SV Ayurveda courses, you'll find it.
That how to do the beautification for the face is on that. There's a course there which you can enroll in and take at your own pace and learn how to do the facial protocol.
Awesome. So that'll be that's a self facial, right?
Well,
self pharma.
I think it's both, to do it for others and to do it for yourself.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. All right, we're gonna just wrap up. Thanks so much, Jim. Thanks for joining the Ayurveda Cafe. Thanks, everyone.